I stood on the dock, soaked to the bone, clutching a wriggling trout in one hand and my fishing rod in the other. The tow truck driver scratched his head, pointing to my kayak strapped to his flatbed like a stolen car. "Ma'am," some lady in a golf cart called it an unpermitted watercraft. Said it had to go. Behind him, my little blue kayak me ticket to Serenity was being hauled away. I hadn't even made it back to shore when Eleanor, the HOA president, decided to turn my quiet morning into a circus. 2 hours earlier, the lake was a mirror, reflecting a pink dawn. I was gliding across the water, my paddle dipping softly, the only sounds the hum of cicadas and the occasional plop of a bass. This lake was my sanctuary, a slice of peace in a world of emails and bills. I'd lived on its edge for 6 years, built my cabin with my own hands, and run a bait shop by the road. Life was simple until Eleanor took over the HOA 6 months ago. She stormed in with rules sharper than a barbed hook, measuring lawns with a tape measure and fining people for excessive porch plants. But the lake? That was sacred, or so I thought. When I paddled back to shore, orange cones and a chain blocked my usual spot. A sign read, "Lake access restricted per HOA order." I dragged my kayak onto the sand, confused, when I saw the tow truck backing toward the water. I jogged over, thinking it was a mistake, but the driver pointed to my kayak and said Eleanor had ordered it gone. Upon the hill, there she was, perched in her golf cart, sipping iced tea through a metal straw, watching like a general overseeing a siege. I marched up, boots squelching, and demanded answers. She handed me a pink slip. "Unauthorized vessel, $150 fine. Register for next time." I'd been kayaking here for years, long before her reign. She just smirked and said, "Take it up with the board." That fine wasn't just about money, it was about control. Eleanor loved pulling levers, making everyone feel her grip. Back home, I fumed, staring at the lake from my porch. My friend Tom, a county clerk, stopped by and laughed when I told him. "By the lake, Jane," he joked. "Then you can fine her golf cart for unauthorized loitering." We chuckled, but the idea stuck. Over beers that night, Tom dropped a bombshell. The HOA didn't own the lake. They leased it from the county, and the lease was up in 5 weeks. Anyone could bid. My heart raced. This wasn't just a joke anymore. I could take the lake from her. The next day, I was at the county office, poring over documents. The lease was outdated, and the price was reasonable. I called a lawyer friend, who confirmed I had a shot if I bid 10% above the HOA's offer. I had savings, motivation, and a fire Eleanor had lit. I filed the paperwork quietly, telling no one. I wanted her blindsided, her smug face frozen when she realized the lake was mine. While Eleanor patrolled, issuing citations for improper mailbox colors, I worked in secret. My bid was 15% above the HOA's, with a plan for water quality and free community access. The county clerk nodded approvingly. "You've done your homework." Meanwhile, Eleanor tightened her grip, banning lake use before 8 a.m. or after 6 p.m. Neighbors grumbled, but stayed quiet, worn down by her threats. One day, an old-timer named Henry pulled me aside. "Heard about your kayak," he said, grinning. "Give her hell." That fueled me. The county meeting loomed. My bid was strong, but Eleanor could still counter if she caught wind. So, I played defeated, paddling a rickety rowboat to throw her off. She grew paranoid, snapping photos of my bait shop and asking if I'd resolved my violation. I shrugged, faking resignation. She bought it, but her suspicion led to absurdity. She hired teens in polos as lake patrol to photograph rafts. I bit back a laugh. She was guarding a lake she didn't own. The day before the county's decision, Eleanor called an emergency HOA meeting, ranting about outsiders undermining her authority. I sat in the back, sipping soda, barely hiding my grin. She even suggested buying the lake outright, clueless that I'd beaten her to it. The next morning, the call came. The lease was mine. I was the lake's new operator, legally and irrevocably. My chest thumped with justice. I didn't shout or gloat. I planned the perfect reveal. At the next HOA meeting, Eleanor droned on about new fees and kayak stickers. I stood, walked to the front, and slid a document across the table. "Read this before you make more rules." She scoffed, expecting a complaint, but her eyes hit the county seal. "Waterway lease transfer." Her jaw dropped. The room went silent as I announced, "I'm the lake's leaseholder now." Access is free for all residents, except those who harass or misuse the towing service. Sorry, Eleanor, that means you. Laughter erupted. She sputtered, but a board member, Tim, cut in. If the lease isn't ours, your rules don't apply. Her empire crumbled. By morning, I posted signs, private lake. Permitted residents welcome. HOA restricted. Neighbors got free permits, and the lake buzzed again, kids on paddleboards, fishermen casting lines. Eleanor fought back, spreading flyers claiming I'd stolen the lake. They backfired. People mocked them, one kid taping googly eyes on her photo. Then she tried sneaking onto the lake in a hoodie and an inflatable unicorn. Sprinklers I'd installed caught her, and she flopped into the water, neighbors laughing from the shore. Her final act was desperate. I caught her tampering with the lake's drainage valve, screwdriver in hand. "This isn't what it looks like," she yelped as I recorded. The sheriff arrived, charging her with trespassing and environmental tampering. She was escorted away, mud-soaked and defeated. The HOA board, humiliated, voted her out unanimously. Residents shared years of her bullying, fines for chalk drawings, bans on ugly bird feeders. The room cheered as her reign ended. I posted no trespass orders around the lake, one framed by her old bench with a plastic unicorn for irony. The neighborhood relaxed. Kids fished, couples kayaked, and an elderly group started lakeside yoga. I rebuilt the dock, added solar lights, and kept the lake open and free. The county offered to make it a conservation area, ensuring no future Eleanors could ruin it. A journalist wrote about it, calling it the kayak that sank a tyrant. The story spread, inspiring others to fight petty tyrants. One afternoon, I saw Eleanor beyond the 20-foot boundary, staring at the lake, her golf cart dented and faded. She looked hollow, then walked away. I never saw her again. The newsletter ran a cartoon of a kayak with smooth waters ahead. I framed Eleanor's citation in my bait shop, a reminder of what started it all. On a quiet evening, I paddled out, the water still, the sky gold. A kid nearby reeled in a fish, his parents cheering. I was home, and the lake was ours again. What do you think about standing up to bullies like Eleanor? Have you faced injustice or power trips in your community? Share your thoughts below. Let's debate how to handle control and unfairness in our lives. Your voice matters.